Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Win Wednesday. Jack Austin here from Savage Marketer and the AI Persona Method. Today I've got Melody here. She's been a member of the group and the community and a certified consultant since early 2023, right, Melody?
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, we're going to hear from her today about how she's been using AI in her business and with her clients and what she sees for the future of AI. So Melody, if you'd like to introduce yourself, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So, Melody Edwards, I live in Massachusetts in the United States, and I have worked in home service. I had a lot of home service businesses over the years and eventually ended up exiting all of those companies. The most recent was last year. But I started home service VA it's been 3.5 years ago with my first virtual assistant, Dean. And we basically wanted to create the experience that we wish had existed when we first started working together. And that's what we've done. She's in the Philippines. I am here in America, and we've had a great partnership.
Nice. So now how many VAs do you have in your team from that point?
So we've worked with hundreds of clients. We just became an agency, though. We were a recruiter before this and a matchmaker. We became an agency it's been about 4 months now, and we have 13 clients. So we've been having to kind of rebuild and restart the way it's basically we were operating as an agency all along, but now we're getting paid to do that work. So it's nice.
Nice. A good development. So I guess with obviously being in the VA world and working with like the Philippines market and stuff, when AI came out, was it something that you saw as an opportunity? Like, how did you feel about AI when you first saw it coming into the market?
Yeah, no, I didn't see it as an opportunity. I remember hearing about it first, maybe in December of, was it 2022, when it was when OpenAI first was developing, and putting out ChatGPT. I don't even remember what year it is now. It's 2024, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I had followed Jeff online. I had friended him, and I had kind of met him through another friend, and he has a VA company. And so my initial reaction, because I'm kind of tech phobic, I like what technology can do, but my first thought is not to dive headfirst into technology. I usually wait around longer. But this time I realized this could really impact virtual assistants in the Philippines and many Filipinos, all the call centers. And so at first I approached it with fear. I was worried about it. And then when I went on to become, be in the AI persona group and eventually get certified, I realized there's a lot of power in that, because there's just so much that you can do, but it doesn't mean that it's going to take over everything just because it's coming. We just have to adapt and continue using it and learning about it. So I've really changed my mindset about it over the past couple of years.
Right. Yeah, that makes total sense. And it resonates with me coming from a content marketing background, because I was the same. It came out that November. I was looking at it. I was quite skeptical, and then started to think, well, actually, this could give us a lot more power and kind of mean we can be more productive and get better results.
Yeah. I also feel like I love teaching people who don't understand it. I do a lot of education with people who are more creative or who tend to be like I was about it, because I really just think it's having creative conversations with a robot. We call it technology, and it is technology. But when it comes down to it, the more creative that you are with these conversations you have, the better your output. And I just try to simplify it for people.
Yeah, totally. I think there is that fear. It's kind of two ways. One way is that it should just give you an instant result, which it doesn't. And the other way is that it's going to be able to take over things. But if you're not an expert in your area, it's very difficult for AI to give you an output that's different to anything else.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. So in terms of the program then, when you joined the AI persona method, how did that change your way of working with AI from where you were before that? Or was that the first point you sort of got into it?
Yeah, it was. And what I realized, I'm a very creative person, very visionary. And I realized that it was made exactly for people like me. Like, if you are a creative person who has a good imagination, who knows how to be a good critical thinker, problem solver, like, this is what it's made for. And so I actually got really excited about what I could do with it. And I got excited to teach the main thing and this came from Jeff's influence, is I want to empower my, the team that I work with in the agency. I want them to understand how to use it and how to use it really well for their clients. So it's really, I want their clients or our clients to have as much of a benefit from it as possible.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So there must have been quite a bit of change in terms of how your guys work. Like, what's the difference in like a daily working schedule now there is AI compared to what it was like before you had AI?
Yeah, it's not much different. So some of the things that our agency, so we do a lot of education with our VAs. We do a lot of, they have to learn certain things with us. But I would say that we actually underutilize it in some ways. One of the things I really worry about is I want people to keep their imaginations, to keep their brains thinking. And I think it's so easy for people to rely on something like AI and decide, oh, this is where my, I just think creativity and intellectual curiosity and things like that are going to be so much more important and rare as it moves forward. And I want people to keep that, including the people who are in our company, the VAs. I want them to not just rely on AI. So we do a lot of, talking about how to test the answers, because most of the time it's telling us something with certainty, even though the results are not always accurate. And so it's something that I think is really important, that we don't just fully go head on into it. I also really focus on teaching them about ChatGPT, especially because their clients are the ones who get, a paid account for them. That's what we request. And so I don't want them, even though we love Claude and there are other programs, I'm trying not to get the shiny object syndrome of being in every program. There's so much software right now that we could dive into. And in the past, I definitely would have been a person who would have been diving into all the things. I've done that before. I don't want to do that right now because I think there's so much changing every day. We can't rely on anything. Like, our time is very valuable. And so I want to really focus on the things that I know are here to stay and that are going to help move us forward.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's a lot of power in that because the tools kind of, which one's the best tool changes on a daily basis. They're always changing, they're updating, things move around. One day the content you get, or if you're doing content work in ChatGPT, it's better than Claude. The next day Claude's better. I had that when ChatGPT 4 came out and I cancelled my Claude account. And then
me too. Yeah, and then I got it back. Yeah.
As soon as I updated it and upgraded it, it came back. And I think the first point you made there is another key thing that's really crucial. I also believe that we will end up with this level of bland that is just for AI output. And then
we already have
creativity. Yeah.
Right. We already have. You can see it in the writing, but not everybody can see that yet. I think it's also about trust. Our client, when you're putting out content online, right now, a lot of people still don't know what AI is. They don't understand it at consumers. And so once they understand that a lot of this content is being written by AI, not authentically to the voice of a client, they're going to stop trusting you the same way that they did. So I think about all of these things deeply. I'm always thinking forward and what is going to be valuable in the future. I think it's going to be our authentic voice for our companies and for our brands, and keeping the trust with people. And then also I think it's going to be really important to know how to think. It's like in America, or probably everywhere in the world, we used to have to count out the change from the cash register, but now it does it for you. And so people literally can't count change anymore because they don't have to. That can happen with AI.
Yeah. It's the same with maps, right? Nobody knows where they're going anymore because they put it in Google Maps every time. So you don't.
I still know how to read a map. My grandfather taught me. It doesn't always come in handy, but
these skills are the ones. Yeah, they're the ones that need protecting for sure.
That's right.
So if there was someone listening to this and they were thinking, what are the benefits of joining the community that Jeff has? Like, is it something that I should do? What would you say to those people?
I would say the first thing is I'm really impressed with how open Jeff is. I wasn't sure coming into it because I didn't know any other, VA agency owners. how open he would be to having me there. And he's been super open. He's always been very giving. And the whole community is so giving. I think there are so many really smart people in there. I don't feel like anybody is like, there's not a lot of ego. It's just like people who just want to learn more and give more, which I think is the best kind of community that you could have. So I'm always very impressed by that. People who want to help each other. And I don't really have to search all the time, like for all the things that are going on with AI, because I want to stay up to date. And I feel like the group really helps me to do that. And it's taught me, obviously, it's taught me so much. And most importantly, confidence. I definitely have a lot of confidence because of this group that I can actually call myself an AI educator and feel like, well, that's what I'm doing for people,
Yeah,
So
I can resonate with that.
Yeah.
Because I think as well, you see the results that people are getting, and that gives you confidence in you going and getting those results and bringing that value to people as well. Because I think there is still a huge percentage of it that's a lack of education in AI and what AI can do, mixed with the people that are just putting content out there. So I've got two more questions, but first is kind of a bit of a silly one. Do you notice that now when you see certain words written online, you automatically assume that it's written by AI?
Oh my gosh, my trigger words. Absolutely. I have so many of them. I feel like in a way, ChatGPT has ruined some words for me forever. I need to steal them back. But like empower, ensure, there's like so many. I'm not even thinking of all of them. But it's definitely everywhere I look online, I can see where AI is writing. And so when I try to train the chats, I really try to train it to not use those words. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I have to remind it. So
yeah. I even find that some people are probably using them and not using AI because they don't know that words like harness and empower and these things are overly used AI words, right? So it's kind of a weird brain space. I think only consultants and people in these communities kind of start to think like that, really.
I know. I feel like bad that I'm judging words now, but it is true. Like there's everywhere, and it's the opposite of. It's taken away the power of the word for me. These certain words that actually, like empower is a great word, and yet AI uses it all the time. And so it takes away, like, is everybody really empowering everybody? Because, AI is empowering, but I feel like I'm being a snob about it, but also I need to get over it and figure out how to be okay with it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So final question for you. Where do you think AI is going to go in terms of business and marketing and kind of life over the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, it's so, again, from my view, every time, it's moving so quickly. I feel like everybody has to get on it. My son is in high school right now, and I'm looking at the way the schools are working with AI. They're so behind because of the bureaucracy. They don't even know how to handle it. And I would say that the people who are in technology in the schools, they're dealing with like a lot of other things. So I'm just seeing that AI is moving a lot faster than the world is capable of handling right now. So I think it's going to be very important for people to use it ethically. First of all, I think about the ethics of AI a lot. There's a lot of things that can be done, like deep fakes and all sorts of things that have been around for a long time, but they're getting better and better. And how do we make sure that the things that AI are doing are good, like, for moving the world forward? And I think continuing to educate people is going to be important. I feel like I lack the imagination to understand how much it's going to push us forward. It does scare me a little bit that the people who have invented these things are nervous about the future of AI. In terms of business and marketing, it really is going to, like, the more you train with it, the more you learn how to harness, no, I'm just kidding. But the more you learn how to use it in a nuanced way and to really, go deep into the prompt engineering and the back and forth of making sure that it's really, really good data sets, the better your output's going to be and the better you're going to be at using it in the future. People need to learn a way to use it. And so my hope is that in the future, it'll be a part of our world in business, but that for those of us who are thinking about keeping our creativity and making sure that we have authentic voices that will actually stand out in the future because we're staying ahead of it. I don't know if that makes sense, but
it makes total sense. Yeah, it's sort of the same with when the internet started, and some people were using it to their advantage and others weren't. So no, that makes perfect sense. Well, Melody, thank you very much for joining us today. Just before we finish, if people would like to follow you and get in touch with you about your business and your education around AI, where's the best place to find you?
So I'm old, so I'm on Facebook, Melody S. Edwards. They can find me there. Also, my company is called homeserviceva.com, so they can look us up over there as well. And I'm always happy to make new friends and meet new people. So please reach out.
Awesome. Thank you, Melody. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today, and we'll be back again next week with some more wins and some more great people from the consultant community. Catch you next time.